European countries must take action to counter the impact of climate change. That's the message by the European Environment Agency given in a recent assessment. The EU agency says climate change has contributed to extreme weather events like floods, droughts, and heat waves, which have killed up to 145,000 people across Europe over the past 40 years. While economic losses from weather and climate-related extremes in Europe reached almost £500 billion over the same period. But this analysis is challenged. Economic think tank managing director Nicolas Lecossin says there's now evidence suggesting climate change will have little to no impact on economic growth. He says this is supported by a report released in March by the Council of Economic Advisors, a US agency attached to the White House. The report has calculated the impact of climate change on the economy.
The Council of Economic Advisors concludes that the impact of global warming over 50 years, for example, is not very significant. Over 50 years, the impact on economic growth is just 0.5%. In other words, nothing. GDP increases exponentially every year in the United States, and the impact is minimal.
A report published in late June by the European Copernicus Networks and the World Meteorological Organization said Europe is the fastest warming continent in the world. Lecossin says there isn't enough data to forecast the future climate properly. He quotes Stephen Kooning, former US Undersecretary for Science in the Obama administration.
What Kooning says is that we don't know enough. We don't know how much warming is going to accelerate. The forecasts are not certain, so we don't know if Europe is indeed warming much faster. Maybe today, but we don't know tomorrow. It may slow down.
Lecossin says EU governments are weaponizing climate change to implement their preferred policies.
Politicians everywhere are in the habit of saying that the situation is catastrophic. So we've got to prepare for disasters, for global warming that's going to accelerate. And we've got to take action. They are imposing taxes on us, forcing us to use electric cars, as you know they have. So there is a whole narrative, really apocalyptic narrative that is being spread by most European politicians.
David Vives, NTD News, Paris.